Yeah. Everybody get your roll on. I know shorty and she doesn't want no slow song. Had a man last year.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the A&J Soccer Show. As always, it's me, Andrew Pipers, to my right.
Jalen Thompson.
We're back this week. Pretty sad week for Man City. We're going to get into that in a second. But and we're also going to talk a little MLS. But got to talk about the City stuff. Let's start with the first game. Liverpool 3, City 0. I watched it with a Liverpool fan. Got a lot of bad news of that, but just what do you think? Like, where do you want to start with that?
I mean, this is the episode all the haters have been waiting for.
Yeah.
They've been waiting to hear us talk about us losing, not just losing once, but twice in a row in pretty embarrassing fashion. Like, they've been waiting for this.
Yeah.
You mean the first game was just... It was tough. I watched it in our student union, and it seemed like everyone there was like going for Liverpool as like naturally they were like the underdog. But when the first goal went in, like people stood up and were clapping. I was like, "Where am I right now?" I was watching it with Michelle, who's another City fan.
It
was absolutely so heartbreaking. Like after the second one and the third one, my jaw was just to the floor. I couldn't believe what was going on.
Dude, I was in class for the entire first half, and I finished class. My friend looks at me from across the room, points at his phone, and I'm like, oh, come on. I look, 3-0. I'm being called out in all these group meets from by everybody. They're like, how you doing, dude? I was so sad. I went home, went back to my room, watched the second half. I was just thinking, like, give us one goal. One goal. Because then it's like, it would
have been an away goal as well.
Exactly. And I look at it, and we just didn't score. We can say we should have had a penalty, shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I think Pep did something interesting in putting 4 midfielders in. Gundogan, De Bruyne, Silva, Fernandinho.
Yeah.
Haven't done that all year.
Yeah.
Why not decide to do it at Anfield where we never win anyway?
And Laporte at left back.
Oh, God. He's so slow, and he's going up against Salah. The best player, one of the best, probably the most informed player in the world. So fast, and we have a guy who's played left back once against like some bottom tier team, and he got roasted during that match. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember looking at the lineups before the game too, and I was talking to Ned, and I was like, who are we starting? Like, what is going on? Because the way that City tweeted it, it was like the players were walking out. It was like an animation thing, so it didn't give like the formation
where they
setup.
would be,
And so I saw that Gundogan, Fernandinho, Silva, and De Bruyne were starting. And I was like, who's playing out wide? And then of course like De Bruyne naturally was put out there, and I just don't get that because I think on any given day De Bruyne can be the best player on the field, and you need to have him in the center of the pitch, orchestrating the attack. And it was, you're right. I mean, the formation call was questionable, and having Laporte outside back also didn't help against, one of the quickest players in the world. You could definitely tell that it hurt us pretty bad. We were like shocked. Like, we were rattled after the second goal.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone expected Ox to hit the ball.
No.
As hard as he did. Like, that was a really nice goal, but to be fair, you can just tell, like, City, we needed halftime to come, or we needed a goal because, at the beginning of the game, Sane was looking very dangerous. It looked like we were having a couple chances, but fair play to Arnold, I think his last name is.
Trent,
Yeah. Arnold, he shut down Sane pretty well after the first, 20 minutes. But to be fair, they were double teaming him. Like, as soon as he got the ball, someone came to support him. So it's tough as a winger. That's very tough. To beat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you know that well. I think before we move on, I am maintaining hope, but it's gonna be tough because if Liverpool scores 1, we need to score 5, and we're a good goal scoring team, but Liverpool can score a goal at any time, and I think my heart is telling me that we go through, but like my mind is telling me there's no chance Liverpool doesn't score 1, and then getting 5 is going to be pretty tough. I don't know if you think like pretty similar.
I want to say optimistic. I think we can do it. I think we'll have Aguero back.
Yeah.
And I think if there's anyone that can do that, it's Sergio Aguero. So,
Yeah.
Realistically, I mean, it's not the best chances,
Yeah.
but I definitely think City can rile up, and we're not in the best form right now, but I definitely think that we can shock the world and come back.
Yeah. So it went from bad to worse on, I think it was Sunday or Saturday. Saturday that we had the derby. While the Liverpool loss means more in terms of what's actually like happening, that United loss hurt way, way, way more. And I didn't think that was going to be possible. We were up 2-0 at halftime, flying on our way to the title. I'm laughing at my friend Walter. Not laughing, I'm just like pretty proud in front of my friend Walter, who I'm watching the game with. Kind of laughing a little bit, kind of happy that he's kind of mad. And then that second half, I think it might have been Pogba scored one or Smalling or something. I don't care.
Pogba scored the first two.
Pogba scored,
Smalling scored
and
the third one.
we collapsed. It was just like, I was so sad after that game. I was visibly just like distraught after that. And if you think about it, on paper, ignoring emotions, fine. We'll win the title the next game or the next game. In my heart, though, that defeat hurt so bad.
It just was the perfect like situation, like to win it at home against our rivals. The whole season led up to that moment. Like that's why I was tripping because like it was 2-0. Should have been 5-0 at halftime.
Sterling.
Honestly, that was my word of the game right there. Sterling.
Yeah.
The guy absolutely. For lack of the better term, I don't want to go there, but really wasted. A lot of very obvious chances. I mean, the first one he just like right over the goal, and then the second one same thing, and then the third one was like to De Gea. I think he's just got an issue with De Gea. De Gea he's a world class keeper, to be fair. I mean, you saw that save he had on Bernardo Silva. I don't know if you saw. They did like a 1-2 on the box, and like Bernardo Silva was going in. He like tried to touch it past him, and like slid and like it just like stuck out his foot and was.
I remember that.
So bad, so ridiculous. Anyway, but we should have cashed in our chances. We didn't. Should have been 5-0 at halftime. It wasn't, and we paid for it. I don't think we necessarily came out sluggish in the second half, but it seemed like United just had like a different. You could tell that they were struggling at the beginning of the game. They
were in trouble.
Anything going.
They were in trouble in the beginning. I guess Mourinho gave the halftime talk of all halftime talks ever. Like
that was ridiculous.
I mean, I was just shocked because when that first one went in, I was like, whatever, it happens. Like we get scored on sometimes. And then when the second one went in, I was like, oh dear God, no. Because I was thinking, typical City. This is what happens, like, too much with our club. And it's just like, the passion I have for that team is just like, I love it sometimes, and it makes me so sad sometimes, like it did this time. And
I don't want to be like that guy, but it's, I mean, I love City, and I love, what we've done this season, but it is very typical of us. We get to the end of the season, when it comes crunch time, and then we fold.
We crumble,
I'm not saying that, like I said, I still hope that we come back against Liverpool. We'll obviously win the title still, but it has been a habit of ours to crumble under pressure when the spotlight's on us. And this one was particularly just embarrassing to end up losing the game 3-2 against United at home was just. I mean, let's talk about the second half. Like, Sterling missed another chance on the goal line. That if he probably didn't touch it, probably was going to go in when Otamendi had the scissor kick. Aguero, in my opinion, that's a penalty. Was it Ashley Young?
Yeah, that. He could have ended his career there. His career.
To be fair, he got the ball first, but then his foot goes over the ball and straight into Aguero.
His shin and his leg, like, dangling there. I thought he lost, but.
To be fair, it was from a neutral's point. I'm sure that was probably like a super fun derby to watch. The emotions got into it at the end. Everyone was getting into fights and scrapping. If I wasn't sitting there with my phone buzzing about everyone texting me about how sad I am, it probably would have been a fun game to watch if I wasn't a City fan. But I am, so
And I guess I have to be like fair. I've told you guys a lot of games to watch if you're not a soccer fan. Like, this would have been a good one to watch if you aren't. But we'll win the title, but I just hope, I hope at some point, maybe some point in my life as a City fan, like, which will be until I die, but like, City till yeah. But like, can we please learn how to not bottle it at the end of the season, like, or in like high pressure moments? Like we almost like no offense to this like amazing QPR moment that we showed a couple episodes ago, but that was super like lucky that happened, that we won the title in that way in 5 minutes. Like we were about to bottle the title against a team that was almost relegated.
Yeah.
And that's just something so typical of us. Like you were saying earlier though, like we've had an amazing season. It'll continue to be amazing, I hope, but hopefully we can change this type of negative mindset. But anyway, moving into a topic that is less depressing by a long shot. We're actually gonna talk a little bit about MLS finally, and I know some of you guys, some of my friends at least, are pretty big MLS fans, and we haven't been talking about it too much because we don't know too much about it. But I'm honestly trying to get more into it this season. But before I get there, we have to talk about Ibrahimovic and LA Galaxy. The LA, what do they call it? El Tráfico. LAFC versus the Galaxy. Ibra comes on. So, okay, I think he came on and it was 3-2. And then at 3-2, he hits the ball from 40 yards out, gets the keeper off his line, scores 3-3, and then like 10 minutes later, he gets the winning goal. And that game was just so like exciting for me to watch. Like, were you watching that game?
No, I wasn't able to watch it live, but my phone was blowing up with the highlights. We were like, oh my gosh, did you see his goal? And the fact that he was able to win it with that goal in extra time, I mean, that's pretty special. I mean, he always finds a way to put his footprint on the game, and that was a serious way to do it.
Yeah, and he's just like a media like phenom all over the world. People are talking about Ibra and the Galaxy, and like one of the things about MLS that I want to talk about is like we'll kind of do this. I'll kind of like pose questions, and we can just sort of react to them. And the first question is like, do you even watch the MLS? And for me, forever it's been no, because it's just kind of boring. But there's something about it now where I'm trying to get more sort of involved with it. Maybe it's a sense of like national pride. Like maybe I want our league to be good. I know it like for a long time or maybe ever could match the European leagues, but I kind of want it to be good. So I'll like ask you the same thing. Do you even watch the MLS like at all?
No, I almost got into it when New York City FC came because they were the city affiliate.
Yeah.
I watched a couple of their games, but it didn't follow through. And I think the thing it is for me is that I'm so tied up with City and keeping up with the EPL that I just don't have time to devote to the MLS. And I also don't have that personal tie where I know a lot of people that watch the MLS, they have like a club like right near them.
Like where they grew up or something.
Yeah, so like it's easy for them to support them because like either they grew up through the academy system of that club, or they like went to games a lot when they were kids and that just like actually love the club. So I don't really have either of those two, so it's kind of hard for me to really get into it. But I think the first step into getting into it is just like finding a team and like really having a genuine liking for the club and the players. Right. Which could be like an Ibra thing, like a certain player coming over could completely convince you to watch and follow a team. So I don't doubt that it could happen to me in the future, but right now I just have way too much focus on the EPL to be dipping up my time for the MLS. Yeah,
and I think I totally understand that, just because I like have been of that opinion basically my entire life as a soccer fan. Only this year, I honestly think that El Tráfico, that Ibra goal, like sort of sparked it, and it's sort of for the quality of the MLS is not as good as the quality of the EPL, for example, but I'm starting to get a little bit more of an excitement level around it because I'm starting to think in terms of like, all right, we're just gonna do soccer like the American way, and we're gonna have like an American culture behind that. And a really good example of that is there's a bunch of, if you guys don't know what Copa 90 is, it's basically a bunch of soccer documentaries, and they did a series on Atlanta United FC, which is a new up-and-coming team, and they're actually pretty good. Their first year was last year, and it just sort of showed like how the American culture is like extending into soccer as opposed to like the European soccer culture just like sweeping over here in America, because I don't think that could ever happen. It's sort of like American culture like going into soccer. And I don't know. There's if you go and watch that video about Atlanta United FC, you might get a better understanding of it. But I think it's definitely something to be excited about. For me, at least, I'm a big Miami sports fan, so I like the Dolphins, the Marlins, the Heat. R.I.P. the Marlins, but that's another story. But I think with Miami, with Beckham bringing a club to Miami, I'll be able to get behind that team and really support that team, like you were saying about finding a club. But I guess the last thing, like, do you have any thoughts about like getting more people into it at all? And like, I mean, for me, it's just all about like more people accepting the culture, like the American culture. Like, what do you think? Do you think we should just totally like abandon the American like tailgating and everything and try to do things like the Europeans, or like, do you have any thoughts on that? It's kind of a hard question.
Yeah. You're talking about like bringing in like the football side, like when people are like, tailgate for football games and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be cool to see like America do it the way that America wants to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Atlanta United is a really good example because they're starting to get a really good following with their fans. Like they are able to sell out their stadium, I think, pretty easily. It seems like they, if they don't sell out, they got a large crowd at most of their games. So I think it's a very good direction. I think with more of the older players from the bigger European leagues coming over, I think it'll help bring more and more attraction. But I think the point where the MLS knows it's made it is when their academies get good enough to the where like they raise up Christian Pulisic, and then he comes up through the system and then like shines on a MLS level and then goes and plays abroad. Like I guess Donovan kind of did that. Dempsey has done that. So something like that.
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely, it's grown a lot, and I think there's only room for it to go and to grow, to continue to grow. And on that, just like if you're a big MLS fan, like can you please leave a comment of like why you like the MLS, like how can it improve, who's your club, stuff like that. That would be really appreciated. But other than that, we thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the support, and please keep it up with all the feedback and suggestions. Yeah.
Easy on the city comments though. We're very delicate right now. Big game tomorrow against Liverpool. So especially if that doesn't go the right way, just easy on our hearts. We've had a pretty rough last week. But until next time, if you guys could just subscribe, we'll catch you next time.
Watch the breakdown.